Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn, and this is the November reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for post notifications. Okay, so this month I'm using the Magic and Mediums Oracle deck as one of the decks that I'm using, and this is created by Aniel Reed and it's illustrated by Ash Color. I love the imagery on this deck, and it's actually one of the decks that I really enjoy using. So for this month, it looks like the cards for Sagittarius is to listen and to learn, right? So there are a couple elements here. So some of you are in a space where you are very attuned to like gossip or conversations that are going on around you. It's like you can kind of sense when there's like negative conversations being had about you, or you are just privy to information coming into you on what's the word I'm looking for? It's just the information kind of comes to you on an intuitive level, right? So you can just sense when there's like things being said about you, or that people don't particularly care for you, or that whatever talk is happening behind your back, it's like you know it and you're fully aware of it. But I think there's an element of blocking out the things that you hear as just being conversational pieces that people have because they don't know any better, or that's just what they want to do, without taking into account that sometimes the things that are said to help you or to assist you in progressing. And so there's like an element of putting aside like the pride that you might feel, or the like stubbornness about the things that you hear about yourself that are negative. Don't look at it as being negative per se, but as like, take stock of what is being said, and if it's true, then there's some work that needs to be done, and being able to learn the things that you need to learn to improve upon yourself, like on a general basis. Don't necessarily block out everything because you don't like the way it feels. Try to discern if this information is helpful to you in any way, right? Because like you say, like a broken clock is correct at least twice a day, right? Also, there's an element for some of you who enjoy music. Music is a way to heal you, a way to connect spiritually to your ancestors. This might be something that is it might be something that is very influential, like in your family, because there is a sense of like a generational thing, an ancestral thing attached to music, and the way that it helps to heal you, or helps to fix the things that bother you, or just being able to get messages from spirit through music, right? So if you play an instrument, or if you sing, or if you are attuned to music in any way, take the time to kind of tap back into that as a way to heal you, or to help you to meditate as well, right? Because it seems like during this time, like you're really sensitive to energy. Like I said, you're sensitive to talk or gossip or anything, general feelings around you. And so that is something that is showing up. Also, like I said, with the Learn card in reverse, you want to make sure that the things that are coming to you, that you're actually learning them and implementing them. You don't want to present the blockage to yourself, because you don't want to take the time or the opportunity to improve upon yourself. Like, this is the perfect time to kind of like shed old skin during Scorpio season, and to really kind of like come out new. So if there are some things that you want to work through, like now would be a good time to do that. And I think that the Learn card in reverse is speaking about not actually implementing and learning the things that you need to be a more evolved individual at this time, right? The Learn card in reverse is also speaking about like your inner child being repressed. And so you have fun, right? Have fun. Like I said, get back into playing your instruments. If you played an instrument before in the past and you haven't been doing that, get back into that. Tap into like the youthful element of yourself and tap into your inner child, right? For some of you, there is some inner child work that needs to happen, and like ancestral generational patterns, and issues that are kind of like presenting themselves to you at this time, with for the sole intention of healing those things and healing those patterns. But like I said, music is definitely a way to heal. And so if you are, like I said, a musician, or you play an instrument, or your voice is an instrument, feel free to tap into that at this time to help you through the process. So I'm going to be doing the Celtic Cross as the reading for this month, and I'm using the Black Tarot, which I really love the imagery in this deck, and so I'm really excited to kind of share it with you guys. So the first card in the position of what is currently happening in your life is the Ten of Pentacles, and so there is a feeling of being financially secure and being abundant, which is your feelings right now, right? Being able to take care of yourself financially, take care of your family financially, and that's kind of where you are right now during Scorpio season. What is crossing you is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is a card that talks about being emotionally fulfilled, right? So on top of being financially fulfilled, there is an emotional fulfillment aspect that is crossing you. So it's not so much as being emotionally fulfilled. It kind of feels like you've come through a period of hardship where you weren't always able to financially support yourself or feel emotionally fulfilled. And while you might be financially okay, the emotional aspect is there, but it's not, even though you should feel full, there's a sense that you don't feel as full. Emotionally, you're not really 100% satisfied. Because it's crossing the Ten of Pentacles, this could mean that you aren't really satisfied with the work that you're doing. It might be taking care of you financially, but it might not be something that you really enjoy doing, but it pays well. Or if this is falling in the realm of like your family life, everything might be okay, like the bills might be paid, and everything is taken care of financially, and you have enough to help you and your family survive and grow and thrive. But emotionally, there's some sort of disconnect within the household itself, right? So normally one card falls out for the position of the subconscious, but while I was shuffling the deck, the page of, the Knight of Pentacles fell out on top of the Six of Cups in reverse. And so with the Six of Cups in reverse, this is where we're seeing the idea of ancestral issues showing up, right? And so this is something, like I said, that is at the subconscious of your feelings at this time, right? So the Six of Cups is usually talking about like childhood things or things that have happened in your childhood. And so with the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles present as what you're currently dealing with and what's crossing you, and at the subconscious of that is the Six of Cups, it really talks about like a childhood trauma that has happened, or like a pattern that you saw during your childhood that had to deal with making a choice, a subconscious or a conscious choice about money, finances, and your happiness. Like, do you have to do something out of duty? Do you have to do something where it's like you feel like it's your responsibility to keep your household together, and in doing so, you're doing a job that pays well but doesn't make you happy or doesn't make you fulfilled, or you're in a household situation where you feel a little bit trapped by circumstances, and so you aren't emotionally fulfilled by that, Or, vice versa, you could be emotionally fulfilled, but the finances are completely screwed up. But I think it's really the former, because the Ten of Pentacles did come up in the outright. But with both cards being the 10, it's also symbolizing that you're coming to the end of that cycle, and it's like you're trying to figure some things out. The only issue is with the Knight of Pentacles that shows up, because this particular night, the Knight of Pentacles does have a reputation for being stubborn, of kind of going the less inspired route, and dealing with duty and what needs to be done, even though it's not anything like inspirational or exciting. It's doing what needs to be done. It's showing up for the menial tasks that need to be taken care of because they need to be taken care of. And I think that's what this pattern coming from your childhood is really talking about, is being that person that does what needs to be done, takes care of what needs to be taken care of, financially speaking, but is unhappy on the inside because there's something missing, or there's that you feel like there's something lacking, and so that is something that seems to be playing itself out here. So the Page of Swords is showing up in the past position, and so a lot of this like mental trying to like be honest with yourself and trying to resolve the issues from your childhood, which are kind of like at the core of this, is a little bit of work that you have been doing in the past. And I feel like now during Scorpio season, there is the sense where you're trying to be honest and be clear, and trying to take the information that you've gained coming out of a difficult situation and trying to kind of synthesize that and to make the best of it. So I think this is where that learn card that came out in the first spread kind of has like is showing up here, because while this is in the past, it is still something that you seem to kind of like be struggling with, really being able to look at something honestly. And I think it's because there is a sense of emotion attached to this whole thing, especially because it comes out of your childhood. There is an emotional attachment to these issues, which makes it hard for you to navigate out of those patterns, right? In the position of like, this is like weird, in the position of the goals and ideals, right, the Moon card came up, which I thought was like a really weird card to be playing for that position. So I did a little bit of clarification, and I used the Hoodoo deck, the Hoodoo Tarot deck, to clarify what this Moon card means in the position of the goals and ideals. And the Moon card is being clarified by the Eight of Coins, which is similar to the Eight of Pentacles. So this is saying to me that you are fully aware of these childhood issues and how they're kind of like playing out into your life right now. But it seems like this is not really something that you really want to be forthcoming about. Like, you don't want to talk to anyone about this. You kind of want to do this work on your own, trying to like fix it, or trying to like move, just trying to work on your issues by yourself without help from anyone. There is a sense of you not really wanting to expose these childhood things, like I said, because there might be some sort of emotional attachment to your childhood that you're trying to almost kind of cover up a little bit, or you just don't want to put like your family business out on like Front Street, right? So this looks like it's something that you are trying to work on your own. So in the space of the near future, the Two of Wands card is the card that comes out. So the Two of Wands is really talking about like your ambition, and trying to like move into this space of like the unknown, which is something outside of what you've always been taught or what you've always been doing, and kind of striking out on your own and creating a new path and a new life for yourself. But this comes out of feeling extremely unsatisfied, right, with your current situation. It's like you're almost at the space this card kind of actually symbolizes the Two of Swords, where it's like you have to make a decision, a hard decision about whether or not you want to stay in your current situation or you want to go, right? And looking at like the first half of the Celtic cross, the Celtic cross, it really looks like you see how it like moves, the colors move from like a black and white over into color. And it's like this decision about moving out and expanding outwards is something that you really desire. But you want to be careful that you're looking at the full picture and not really just dealing with this from an emotional place, because there is an element of kind of like looking at like you're kind of looking at where you're at right now and you're not really feeling like it's the best situation for you, and you kind of want to like move away from it. But there is, like I said, there is a sense of a stubbornness, and so you want to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes without realizing that you're making the same mistakes, right? So just kind of look at the full picture before you navigate into this new direction that you seem to want to take. The approach that you're taking is being represented by the Devil card, right? Which the Devil card is really like, I mean, you could have some Capricorn in your chart, but it could also mean that you're operating from a space where you're using your ambition and drive to move you forward out of a situation, but it's not for the right reasons, right? It's kind of catering to like your former bad habits. And in the position of like your current environment, there is a sense of a conflict. Whether it's brewing or it's there or it's under the surface, there's like an idea that there's conflict around you. And so with the conflict card and also the Devil card, it's like you're returning to former bad habits that create conflict in your life, in your current situation, which is in your home space, right? I mean, this could also be at work. There's a sense of like competition. So you can be competing for a job or a position. You could also be competing for another partner that might not be the partner that you're currently with, right? So if that is something like that, kind of presents itself in the way of a bad habit, so to speak, that is something that is kind of showing itself present here. So like I said, you want to kind of be careful about the way that you go about moving into the next phase of your life. Try to not do it with creating like a situation where it kind of like breaks everything apart, because you just want to kind of like exit out as quickly as possible. But yeah, like the Five of Wands really talks about conflict and competition. And it could also really just talk about like daily things. Like it might not even just be one major event that happens. It could be like these daily things that you're like fighting or struggling with someone else. It's like a fight between two people or three people trying to kind of like take control or take power in a situation. And because of this like power struggle and this power dynamic, you might be kind of resorting to like not so good tactics to kind of get the upper hand, because you kind of feel like that's what you have to do to win, or just to like stand your ground with the Knight of Pentacles, like I said, being like a little bit stubborn about it. And that might be kind of like what is at the crux of your displeasure, and your being unsatisfied in the situation that you're in, whether it be at work or whether it be at, like at your home space, in your home base. What you need to know is being represented by the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And so the Ace of Pentacles in the upright is really a talk about like a start of something, starting out on a new financial path. Like I always think that the Ace of Pentacles talks about like a gift of money. But in the reverse, it's saying, it's kind of like erasing all of that. So it's like a stop. So that is something that you want to be aware of. Like you kind of like shifting out of where you are right now, trying to navigate on a new path might create some imbalances in your financial situation or your living situation, that's kind of like what's showing up about what you need to know. So you need to be aware of the way that you're navigating out. Try to not do it in a way that creates imbalances in your life and creates a lot of stress and just just being uncomfortable in the spaces that you either work in or the spaces that you live in. Yeah, so the Ace of Pentacles is being clarified by the Two of Knives in reverse, which is equivalent to the Two of Swords in reverse, which is, I feel like I said that earlier, and also the Four of Sticks, which is like the Four of Wands. And so like the Four of Wands is really talking about like your home base, your level of stability, basically your foundation, which in this case would be your home, but it's also like it could also be your money, if you're like your money is what's contributing to being able to financially pay for you. And the Two of Swords is really feeling like you're confused about the decision that you have to make. Okay, so yeah, and because it's clarifying the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, that is something that you need to know and something that you need to be mindful of. Like whatever decision you make, if you are, I don't know why this keeps coming up, but if you have to make the decision between two people, like if you are dealing with two different individuals and you have to make a decision about who you want to be with, really take the time to look at the full picture and to make a decision that is best for you, but also try to deal with whatever ramifications, whatever fallout that might cause in your life. Like you need to be fully aware of what that might be. And sometimes, you don't really know how things will play out, but you do need to be mindful of the repercussions and the consequences to whatever decision you make, and making a decision that you are comfortable with proceeding with, right? The final outcome is being represented by the Queen of Pentacles in the upright and the King of Cups in the reverse. And so the King of Cups in reverse is really talking about like a really toxic individual who is a little bit manipulative and uses like the emotional aspect to manipulate. And the Queen of Pentacles is referring to someone who is nurturing, who's caring. And that's not necessarily, it's not necessarily being held to like a gender. So the the King of Cups could be a female, and the Queen of Pentacles could be a man, right? What it really is talking about is about the energy. And so I think in your particular spread, Sagittarius, you need to figure out who you are in this. Are you the Queen of Pentacles, or are you the King of Cups, right? The clarification for the King of Cups in reverse is the Eight of Baskets, which is similar to the Eight of Cups, and also the Nine of Swords, which is like a really crazy energy, right? It's like the Eight of Cups really talks about feeling abandoned or disappointment, and feeling like you have to walk away from something, or just a general feeling that something is missing, right? And so that might be how you feel in the situation, and also having like a lot of anxiety and stress and not being able to sleep and having bad dreams because you are stressed out about this decision that you have to make. And because you are stressed out, it could be that you're acting out outwardly because of the internal things that you're going through. And as such, could kind of explain the approach that you're taking with the Devil card that showed up earlier, because of you might be kind of like lashing out, right? And like I said, this could be you, this could be the other person. If you find like the person that you're with, or they're within your place of employment, there is someone that's like lashing out at you, or the person that you're dating with is like lashing out at you, then you know that they're the King of Cups and then you're the Queen of Pentacles, right? So that is the clarification for the King of Cups and what's at the center of the emotional outbursts, of the emotional manipulation, or just the way that the King of Cups in reverse acts generally, right? The King of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles are being clarified by the Nine of Baskets and the Four of Baskets, the Ancestor card, the Six of Wands, and also again the Nine of Swords. And so it just feels like this decision that you've made to be in this, I don't know whether it's the job or whether it's a relationship, there is like a little bit of regret attached to that. Like you made the decision and you're regretful, or you've made a decision that you're regretting currently, but there is like a sense of regret. And that is causing you a lot of distress and a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety, because if you are in a position that you have to make a decision, it's like you're fully aware of what the ramifications might be, right? And I think that is what's giving you pause. And so I think that you kind of need to take the time to separate yourself from what's going on and just really focus on what it is that you want to create in your life and how you want to do that. And like I said, with every decision, with every hard decision, there is something, there are ramifications to that we have to deal with. And so just making the best decision that you can deal with whatever that outcome is, or be able to accept whatever outcomes come out of the decisions that you have to make, right? Moving on to the advice card. The first advice card is past, present, and future, which is about integration. And the book says, we will arrive on this earth with a plan. We all arrive on this earth with a plan. We all have lessons to learn. In the process of learning these lessons, most of us will encounter experiences that we will label as bad. And this labeling and duality we carry with us wherever we go is what we call our so-called baggage. When we let these labels direct our interaction or reactions to life and experiences in the present, or even project them into the future, we are working with lower energy vibration. When you are able to integrate your lessons without labels, then you are free to remain in the present experience and enjoy it for what it truly is. You can then move forward into the future without expectations or agendas and be much more open to what will be for your highest and best good. Let go of labels and judgments surrounding this particular situation. And the final advice card is about sacred space. Find a spot in your home or office that you can access easily. Create a sacred spot just for you. This will be a space for you alone. If space is at a premium, then a shelf or a corner will do. Put here only those items that hold significant meaning to you and touch you on a deep and personal level. Examples are photos of loved ones, rocks, feathers, shells. Place a candle even if it cannot be lit. This signifies the element of fire and represents the flame of the Creator's love for you, the fire of creation or purification. Perhaps fire means something entirely different to you. Use this space to go to daily, even if it's just for a few moments, to ground and calm yourself. Working this into your daily routine will bring you to a place of greater understanding. If you've come to the end of this reading, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. I hope that the messages here will help you along on your journey and to help you with the difficult decisions that you have to make. I just want to remind you to not judge yourself or yourself based on the decision that you have to make. We all have decisions that we have to make for our life, right? And so this is just a part of our experience as we kind of like navigate through this life, right? So I hope this video helps you. If you like what you've heard today, I would love to hear how this is playing out into your life right now. Share the video with someone that you feel could benefit from the advice that's here. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for post notifications. But I want to thank you so much for showing up and for being here. And I will see you soon, Sag.